We are legends.
Hello and welcome to We RRR Legends, the unofficial podcast of DC Legends Mobile. I am Slowbeast, and with me as always is Hate Mail. In this episode, we will be talking about the Alliance news, Etrigan, crazy team comps with Oger, and an interview with our fearless leader, French Fries.
Breaking news.
The Alliance news was announced today, and it's going to be crazy. The number one Alliance is going to get 400 shards of Martian Manhunter. Alliances in the ranks of 2 through 10 will get 140 shards, and then everyone up after that up to rank 100 is going to get 90 shards. So this seems like it's going to be pretty competitive. What do you think, Hate?
This is going to be pretty awesome. Curious to see how this is going to play out in the future. If this is just this month, or if this is going to be every month, or every other month, or every quarter. But really excited about this news. I think it's going to be an expensive and crazy week, but I look forward to the challenge and really look forward to unlocking Martian Manhunter and seeing how he plays. He sounds really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Martian Manhunter as well. And I think this is going to be a crazy alliance. And I'd like to see what it ends up being to get number one overall. I don't think that we're going to be able to compete, but we're definitely going to stay in the top 10, and that's probably not going to be easy. So
It's going to be challenging. Number one is probably, there's been weeks where it's gotten close to 100,000. I think it's going to exceed that.
I could see that happening.
At the time of the recording, it's Monday, and it's been an hour and 14 minutes, and there's already over 2,000 points for the number one group, so they're not playing around.
Nope. And like you said, it'll be interesting to see what's their plan for the future with this. I don't see them going away from this. This is probably going to be a new mechanic. I don't think they're going to do 3 characters a month, though. That seems a bit excessive for the team to try to put together.
They did that for a long time.
The 3 characters?
They did 3 characters for a very long time, if you remember, so.
Well, I could see if they were done reworks.
Though.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're doing reworks as well. I could see if they were done with reworks, them working in the 3 characters, but with them doing 2 reworks every month, unless they're going to drop it down to 1 rework and 3 new characters, I don't know. I mean, they know what they're doing. We'll see. But it'll be interesting, and I like the new way to try to get the character. It makes it fun. You know, you got more of a purpose to your Alliance missions. All right, so it's time once again for some in-depth character analysis with Hate. We're taking a look at Etrigan this week.
We're doing Etrigan this week. Man, he is such a good character. Very, very strong. Takes a little bit to ramp up, but you'll see some videos in here where I just demolish greens. And I think he's pretty well balanced because he's not overly crazy until he gets ramped up. But once he gets ramped up, he can annihilate. There's a Reddit post if you want to get a full in-depth guide by Doombox. I disagree with the legendary order a little bit with him. He puts a lot of stock into taking his 2 early, which is that Raging Hellfire, which is his AoE, because he wants to be able to burn them all down. I personally like his 3 a lot earlier than he does. His argument is that the overheal isn't very strong, but I feel like the overheal is pretty essential to his kit to get everything going. I've had some people tell me they like it number 1. I personally would take it second. But overall, really strong character. Definitely, I think L3 is his sweet spot, though L4 seems like it's going to be pretty good because you can get those 10 agility ups, and a lot of people tell me that makes a big difference. But he can take a decent hit. He's not a super tank like some of the other characters, but he definitely can take a decent hit, but he can do some damage. He's kind of like a mystical version of Power Girl once he gets going. And he kind of does the same thing, except he does special damage, so he gets all the intellect up. The ability I would recommend going first would be his number 4, where you can also gain the 5 intelligence ups. Once you've killed another person on the other team or had a chance to use it, once he starts stacking those intelligence ups, that's when he starts slamming out some major, major damage. And he will eat apart some of those energy characters. The next one I would go with is his 3. That's the one that gives you at the start of the battle. You gain crit immunity, which helps keeps him alive, but you'll get that small overheal. And yes, that overheal is really small, but once he's overhealed, that opens up some of his other abilities, which goes into his basic, which is the next one I would take. When you upgrade that one, it gives him a 70% chance to use twice if he's overhealed. So you'll do it. His basic does a ton of damage. Remember, it will also apply 10% true damage if he's overhealed, so you're stacking up that extra damage and then just raining down on people. The next one I would go with is his fifth ability, which is his passive. If an enemy revives, you have a chance to gain 1 true sight and then 35% turn meter, which really helps start shelling out that damage. But the upgrade gives him the 10 agility ups. So I'm told by a lot of people that's pretty potent. So I would probably take that fourth. And then the last one I like would be his number 2. It just reduces the cooldown by 1 after for each living enemy. So if they have all 4, you use the ability, you can use it again quickly. And maybe it is a little better than I'm rating it, but personally, I don't think its AoE is that. I mean, it does a lot of damage, and if another enemy is dead, he can use his Burning Hands as basic after you cast it, which is pretty cool. And it does seem to proc if you kill somebody. So if you use AoE, kill somebody, and then he'll use his basic again. Pretty good ability all the way around. He's an L5 candidate for sure.
I saw your video and was so impressed that I actually, as quickly as I could, I've got him all the way up to gear 10, and I've been playing with him, and he works pretty well at gear 10. I only have him legendary 1 right now. I think I do need the that other legendary to try to ramp him up and see how much damage he can do, but definitely neat animations with him. I really like him.
Has the current Deathstroke nerf left you unable to perform? Don't feel like you're packing the same punch with your pistol that you used to? Just go to patreon.com/WeRRRLegends and rise to the occasion. You're taking your rightful spot on the leaderboard by signing up to Patreon today.
Side effects may include tired eyes, sore fingers, rage quitting, maxed out credit cards, butthurt, and divorce. Crazy team comps with Oger Barbarian.
Alright, so time again once again for crazy team comps for the Oger Barbarian. Looks like you were doing a lot of stuff with the Etrigan and some Dr. Fate leadership playing with there. What teams did you have here?
The first one we had was Dr. Fate, Etrigan, Firestorm, and Harley Quinn. This was actually a really fun team. A lot more effective than I would have thought initially, just thinking about it. And I've actually had a few people reach out to me asking me what I thought of Dr. Fate's leadership. I'm 5 shards away from taking him Legendary 5, and I plan to do that very soon because I think with all the overhealing, there's a place for him as leader now. But this team was really good, really fun, all intelligence-based. And Oger, what made you come up with this one?
Yeah, and that was, that's the idea, is that everything is intelligence, everything's special damage except for Harley, but she does imply the inch down as well. So, I mean, you get a lot of extra effect by reducing the opponent's intelligence, as a lot of people have found out through the Constantine second to last note of the Etrigan event. Having a lot of intelligence downs means you're going to die really quickly.
Yep.
So that was pretty much the idea, is that you stack enough intelligence downs or ups, and you're going to be hitting like a truck.
Yeah, I even noticed because with all the intelligence down and intelligence up, Dr. Fate and Etrigan would even do pretty good damage even to physical characters, which I was surprised by.
Oh yeah, and most of the physical characters don't even have a lot of intelligence. That's the problem. So their defense against those attacks is kind of low anyway. So you start reducing it and just kind of evaporate.
Another one I found that I was using fairly frequently was this next one that has Steppenwolf, Etrigan, Power Girl, and Robin. One thing I didn't even mention during the live portion of our podcast was that with all the changes in PvP, with characters taunting all the time, Harley Quinn, I've noticed, has become even more of a pain than she already is. So I turned to this team a lot because I found I needed the Steppenwolf lead more than I used to.
Oh yeah, people are using her a lot more, I've noticed too. It's like you have to rely on your crutches, either Deathstroke or Harley or Lobo, or, well, 2 of those don't really exist in the same way anymore, so they're kind of relying on the last one.
Yeah.
Does not surprise me.
Well, before you could let her taunt fall off, but now with her taunt, she casts it again as soon as her evasions drop off, and it's up again. So I've noticed PvP is more challenging, yet it's strangely a lot more fun than I found it before, because I find myself having to actually really think about the teams I'm using much more so than before.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing, is my synergy stuff that I do is going to be a lot more effective now, I think, because you are going to have to pay attention more. You're not going to be able to just run out 4 heavy hitters and just think you can win.
Yeah.
At least that's, how I see it.
The next team we had on the list, this is probably my favorite of the bunch, was Enchantress, Etrigan, Bane, and Clayface. I found this team to be really good. Enchantress sometimes will go down a little quick, but I have a feeling on defense this team's a nightmare to face against.
Yeah, I would not imagine it's a fun team to face off against with Bane starting out ready to roll and punch you in the face repeatedly. So I would imagine that if Bane has his punch upgrade for the strength downs, it's going to be even that much harder to take that team down.
Yeah.
And Etrigan gets going early. Clayface is already a pain to take down. So Enchantress really is the only weak link, but Clayface protects her pretty well.
Yeah. She's slow enough that, she doesn't need to do anything the first turn or so because Etrigan is just going to blow everybody up. For the most part, since he's the fastest one and going to wreck you with his special damage.
I
believe he is actually the fastest special damage character.
Yeah, he's pretty
fast.
fast.
No, sorry, Livewire.
Livewire. He's pretty fast, though, and he does shell out the damage. So this last one you have here, I really like the concept of this team, and it was fun to play, but I didn't quite do what I was hoping it to do. I think certain teams it doesn't hold up well against, but mainly partially because there's so much Harley Quinn, and this team isn't great against her. But that's Red Hood, Etrigan, Black Adam, and Lobo.
Right, and the idea with this one is these guys all care about when an enemy dies. So if you find a team that's running some sort of baby character for Alliance event, you're just going to wreck through that because all of them have something that happens when an enemy dies. You're either ripping their meter out, they're all gaining meter and buffs and just going nuts. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's a fun team. So what are you thinking about the whole with the changes in PvP and then with the nerf that just happened? How is it affecting how you play? Are you seeing anything different now that it's been a good week since it's happened?
Well, it hasn't affected how I play because obviously I play bleeds. Now, one thing is that my bleeds always wreck Deathstroke anyway because they don't care about awareness at all.
Right.
So it really hasn't phased how I play, but I have noticed a very sharp decline in who is actually in there, and I don't know if it was partly due to the Swamp Thing week and nobody needed him, or if it was the Deathstroke nerf. I've noticed that my boards have a lot more points available on them now. I get 14-point battles, I get 20-point battles now, where I wasn't getting those before. So
yeah, I've noticed in where I've been playing, the boards are much more difficult. I don't have anything under 25. Actually, usually I really don't have anything under 28,000 team power anymore, and I don't know if they've made any minor adjustments to that, or it's just because all the baby Lobo teams have been weeded out.
I think it's just because everybody else dropped out of PvP for the most part. You don't have everybody clogging up the leaders, so those of us who are at Gear 11 are getting full power Gear 11 opponents because that's who's there.
Yeah, so it's funny because I had a few people in my alliance that say they actually miss the baby Lobo teams now because those were the easiest ones to beat. And I think a little bit has to do with too the Red Robin Clayface Wonder Woman Princess team is gaining some popularity. I do want to take a little bit of credit for that one, but
right, that is a good team.
that team is not easy to beat. So, and then you're seeing the invisibility based teams, the Robin led, are not easy to beat either.
Yeah, and I've come to understand that actually what beats that is the crit meta.
Yeah.
The Green Arrow leadership.
Yeah, that's what I was
He's the way to go, from what I understand. Yeah, which is kind of interesting that we're finally making full circle like that.
Well, it's funny because...
It's like the devs designed it that way or something.
What's even more funny is that I seen a guy in our alliance posted a video of a team he couldn't beat, and it was a Supergirl-led team. And people have been so long that people forgot, that you can't run in there with...
Oh, she's still good.
Yeah, you can't run in there anymore, because before you couldn't use her because of Baby Lobo, but now with everybody was running, a lot of Steppenwolf lead, a lot of higher gun dead shot, and you can't do that against Supergirl. That's exactly what she counters. So
exactly. Can't do that against Supergirl, and you're probably not doing it against Aquaman. It's, like the devs just put a sale of Aquaman out, knowing that things are changing. They pay attention. Oh my gosh. It's like there's some grand design or something.
Stop it.
No, and I mean, it's just disclaimer for anybody who thinks that the devs don't pay attention. They do. They know what's going on. They all are fans. They all play the game too.
What's her last name? I'll look it up. I don't really recall. Starts with an S. So Swummy, Slippy, Slappy, Slimmin, Summon, Simmons, Swanson? Maybe it's on the briefcase. Look on the... Oh, yeah! It's right here. Samsonite. I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Well, today with us we have French Fries, who is our dear leader of the Court of Owls. Our very first owl on, which it's kind of sad that it took us 19 episodes before we actually had one of our own owls on. But French Fries, glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Well, first let's get to know French Fries a little better. How long have you been playing DC Legends?
I've been playing DC Legends since the game came out of beta, so that's November 2016 when Wonder Woman, Champion of the Amazons, and Suicide Squad Deadshot are the big meta. So it has been a long time ago.
Yeah, you were right at the very beginning.
Yep. Where did the name French Fries come from?
The name French Fries comes back to around 2010 when I'm still 14. I'm 23, by the way. So then I was in school playing Call of Duty 4 with my friends, and I saw one of them name themselves Crisp with a happy face. So I decided I'm going to do something similar. So I'll think of some food that will go well with it. Oh, how about French fries? Then I decided to stick with French fries. And because I want to try to be a little bit opposite, so instead of a happy face, I put a sad face in there. But that's essentially it. But right now in game, I'm known as DeezFries because of the meme.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Currently in game, who is your favorite character?
In game, my favorite character. Let me think. It's hard to choose, but because there's so many, and it really depends on who I'm using. But if talking in the PvP sense, I would say the one I like is the one that annoys me the most. And right now, I think Bane is the most annoying. So
yeah,
I do have my own Bane, but he needs a bit help, so not that good. Even though he's L5 and gear 11, level 70, and max skills, still not good enough. And needs a little bit help from Enchantress. My Enchantress is hardly worked, so I can't really make the best out of Bane yet.
Yeah, Bane on defense is so good, but on offense, he's still very good, but you got to have an enabler to get him going.
Yeah, Enchantress is a very good option. So I fought Alexi's team recently, and I just cannot beat it.
Yeah, that one's tough.
That was really like the first time since I had like all my characters gear 10 or gear 11 that I really struggled with one of the teams, which is Alexi's team, which is Enchantress leader, Swamp Thing, Clayface, and Bane. There's just no way I can kill it. I had to skip the match.
That would take forever to kill, even if you. Wow.
The biggest problem I have is Bane.
Sure.
Hitting. I have no, because of the overheal. But that's in PvP. That's my favorite character. My favorite PvE character is definitely Black Adam. It's just nice and simple and quick. It's better when he's paired with Reverse Flash as well. So,
nice combo.
Have you geared out Etrigan yet, and what are you thinking of him?
Etrigan. Well, I don't know too much about Etrigan apart from seeing your video, and judging by it, he looks quite insane. I always say he's a blue power girl, and for all the players out there, if you want to have a strong character, I hope you worked on Power Girl back in January. And in this month, better work on Etrigan. He's like a blue Power Girl, do special damage, crazy overheals. Just beware of Constantine. He's a hard counter by Constantine.
So how are you liking PvP now that all the changes with the taunting happened and then the Deathstroke Baby Lobo changes?
I've been reading a lot about it, and I've seen there's hardly any Deathstroke Lobo in the PvP meta anymore. Maybe that's a good thing in terms of variety of the game. I'm seeing a lot more variety of teams now, and the good thing is I have to think about who I put in my team before I play the match. I can't just auto everything.
It definitely seems harder to me.
Yeah, on that part, I could say it's good, but I understand some free-to-play players would struggle a bit to fight their way up there, and that is understandable. So, like many of our alliance members do that. They want to work on the top 100 with Lobo and Destro. They can't really do that now. But I mean, it's just finding the right team and see what you can do. I mean, the change is still relatively new. We still need to see a lot, but in terms of variety, that there's a positive impact on the variety, I would say, right, in the game.
What are you hoping to see in future content?
I mean, like many players, I would love to see raid content. That's something that requires teamwork. Something that is not really about grinding, but about strategy and finding the right teams and playing strategically and long term. Hence, when I did my reflection all the way back in November,
yeah, that was great.
November, I had a suggestion of saying changing alliance into including red alerts, and you get points for completing the red alerts. But then you get less points with more characters you die. I think that's one way of.
I like that.
I think that's one way of challenging players to find the right team to go through all 12 waves of red alerts without anyone dying, and in that way getting points to actually make it competitive. Because I know the game has done a lot to improve since its release, and I do acknowledge a lot of the positive changes in the game. Still, I personally want to see some more strategic playing instead of grinding. Right now, still a lot of grinding. Also, I would like to see more standard PvE content that gives us more options to earn more rewards, because right now, Gear 11 is such an expensive upgrade. I work on 3 characters for every 2 weeks to make them from Gear 10 to Gear 11. And that, for 1 week, I will have to spend 5,000 gems just to upgrade like 3 pieces of gear for each character, and around 3 million green essence. That is so expensive, and there is no way we can earn that sort of resources back, because the way we earn resources is not reflected as Gear 11 is introduced. So I really want to see something like that included in future content as well.
That's I love that idea for red alerts. That's such a good idea.
It's a good way to make it more difficult without having to actually change much about it.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to add anything super huge and new to make that. It's something they could probably do in an earlier time frame. So if anybody from Warner Brothers is listening to this, that's a great idea that I don't think would be too resource intensive. Is there any new mechanics for characters you would like to see added to the game? Or any new characters, for that matter?
I mean, I've never been that creative on considering this sort of mechanics, but to reflect back on what was added in the game, I personally think True Sight is quite a unique mechanic, as in I haven't really seen games that much, or maybe I'm just really uninformed, so people, if you want to destroy me, by all means. Something like True Sight is quite unique. I say ignoring taunt or invisibility, so that's creative, and Red Robin in that way is a pretty good option. But for future, I say it's very hard to spontaneously think of something, but I want to see, at least in the game, something like stacking stuns can be like very explicitly exploited. I think Killer Frost can do that, but it's not that explicit. It's just one character.
Yeah, she needs like one more character that can pair with her properly, that does something more than just stun, that gains something from stuns, so you could have a stun meta.
Yeah, and so far that really isn't happening. Not what, at least what I'm not seeing right now.
Yeah, not yet.
And I know it's really difficult as well, because you're so prone to being too OP for all those stuns. So
it's a fine line they'd have to walk for that.
Yeah.
So you've been leading the Court of Owls for a while now. What's that been like?
I mean, not that. How would I say this? I mean, we've started. This group has started since Alliance was introduced back in around May last year, and I've been there since then. I mean, we use Line to chat, and we have seen a huge number of changes in terms of players. We have only like five original players still staying around the group, and I wasn't even the original leader. I was asked to replace our original leader when he left the game. But right now, it's a lot about chatting in the group. Sometimes some crazy chats. Very fun, very funny, very silly as well. Sometimes having a laugh. I do have to mention it right now that our fellow member Bear, who's the senior moderator in the official forum, I enjoy the banter with him in the group. He always say I'm a bully because because the game has 80 characters and I have 77 of them at L5. Well, at least within the frags for L5. So I'm only missing Suicide Squad, Deadshot, Dr. Poison, and Scarecrow.
Yeah, your roster is insane.
Otherwise, all characters technically are L5 for me.
How many do you have left for Gear 11?
Well, come to think of it, I think I still have a lot of characters that needs to be Gear 11. So I'm going to count. I have 13 characters per affinity on Gear 11, so that's 39.
Oh, wow.
I have a strict schedule of working my characters to level 70 in Gear 11, and in terms of gear level, I make one character of each affinity to Gear 11 every 2 weeks. So I upgrade one gear on Sunday for each of the 3 characters, and then I upgrade one of their gear on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then I repeat that for another week, so it's 2 weeks for 3 Gear 11 characters. But for this week, I'm going to pause on that because I'm going to save up to work on Alliance for obvious reasons.
Well, that was our next question, actually, now that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
The main reason we wanted to have you on this week, we kind of held out for this one, was we want to see what do you think of the Alliance rewards and Martian Manhunter and everything to go with it.
So I'll start with talking about Alliance, Alliance rewards being Martian Manhunter. I mean, this is obviously a great way of earning the rewards. It gets players to actively participate in Alliance to earn those rewards. It helps to drive player motivation to play the game, because everyone always wanted John Constantine or Martian Manhunter in the game. And now John Jones is in the game. I think everyone's going to work hard on it. That's a good thing. Another thing now I want to chat about is the rewards we are given. So this week, I've just checked, and what's going to happen is the way we play out with the Alliance is essentially the same. We try to meet our daily goals, and in terms of the whole Alliance and personal. And at that point, we still only get Alliance Essence as the rewards. But at the end of the cycle, which is next Monday for the US and Tuesday midnight for people like me in UK, we will, instead of getting Alliance Essence, we'll get John Jones as the reward. And it's still, the tiers are the same: first place, second to 10th place, and 11th to 100th place. My issue is there's such a huge difference in the rewards given for first place and second to 10th place. Maybe that is what Warner Brothers are thinking, because they want the number one to really work hard on it and really push for that 400 fragments. That is a lot. But
there's a ton. The 32,000 gold worth.
I just feel like second to 10th place is just so significantly less for as much effort, because and also more importantly, 11th to 100th place is just like 60 fragments less than 10th place, which is I don't think it's that significant, because 10th place has to work pretty hard, and you're not getting that much compared to compared to 10th place. So what I would hope to see, at least in the future, because I know we can't really change that now, or if Warner Brothers are nice enough to change that, is the tiers we get, maybe spread it out even more. So I always consider something like what we call World's Finest, which is first place only. I would consider having like first to fifth place, having the top tier reward, and then sixth place to 35th place can get the second tier reward, and then 36th place to 100 maybe get a reward, another reward, and then maybe even 101st place to 1000th place can get a reward.
I don't know. I mean, I doubt there's even 1,000. I'd be surprised if there was 1,000 alliances.
Or maybe 500. I don't know. That's just an example. But another thing is make sure each tier there's an actual significant difference. Right now, you can say about that with first place and second to 10th place, but the difference is too big. There needs to be some balance in the amount of frags given.
I was expecting second to 10th place. When I first saw 400, I thought second to 10th would be 240, and that.
Yeah,
and then
that was
11th.
what I was expecting as well. Well, yeah, that was what I was expecting as well. And then we get like at least an L1 Jean Jones at the end of next week. But I guess that's not going to be true. We are only going to get a 5-star Jean Jones after next week.
Well, they did. It does look like we're going to get him based on what that thing said, that we'll be able to farm him through the Alliance mission reward system. So we will. I mean, it's still, even though it's a bigger drop, we'll still be able to get him to legendary status much faster than others.
Now, I understand the way it works will change next week when you reach milestones in Alliance or personal goals. You are actually rewarded Shong frags. Maybe that would work up. Well, that would sort of help a bit. But if you ask me, I kind of wish that was what was started at the first place. Like everything we are rewarded is strictly Shong.
Well, I think their plan is just to let the first place Alliance have him shiny. I think would be at what, L3, L2, L3 right out of the gate, and a week before everybody else, basically.
Yeah. The first place will have him L2 next week because, as we all know, 370 frags is what makes L2.
That's right.
So that's the reward. I think maybe Warner Brothers is finding their ways in how to do this properly.
Yeah, this is the first time, so it might change a little bit over.
I don't think. And something unrelated is I'm just wondering if we are going to see 3 characters each month onwards, because I have a very strong feeling of making sure that as the game progresses, it doesn't burn out people. Hence why I was really keen back in August when they changed how characters are released, whereas they start doing reworks and there are less released characters, and I actually feel more in control of the game. I overall enjoy the game a lot more. Some people call me drama queen for that, but that's just what I prefer. I know a lot of players have different things, and now I'm seeing 3 characters again, and it seems like the Alliance requires a lot of resources to earn those points, and I just want to make sure it doesn't fall out.
I can't imagine that they'll be doing 3 characters a month from now on. That just seems like a lot. If anything, I would imagine the paywall character will probably be available through Alliance, because can you imagine them making 3 new characters every month?
Well, I could see them staggering it. So maybe we're going to have Martian Manhunter available through Alliances for possibly 2 months or 3 months, and then they do this again as time progresses.
Yeah, because that's a lot.
I don't see that as being a one and done. I see this being a future thing, but I think it's
absolutely.
Staggered.
I agree with you there. I absolutely think it'll be a future thing they're gonna use in the game, but it just seems like 3 is a lot of characters to come up with every month.
Yeah, if they do it every month, that would be a ton.
Yeah, precisely. It will possibly burn out all the free-to-play players a lot because there's just too much to do, and they really don't want to miss out. And I know Warner Brothers are quite cheeky for having John Constantine and Martian Manhunter together at the same time. Everyone's going to go crazy. I hope this is a limited thing, and I would actually be really happy if they change the way how this all works. So in April, we get two characters. One is premium, one is the freebie like Etrigan this month, and then we, in addition to two PvP cycles for the premium character and the premium packs, we actually also earn them via alliance, and that would be very nice. I think it will be a really nice thing.
Yeah.
I don't see them doing that, to be honest with you, just because that paywall character is where they make their money. And
No,
I'm not
he's saying
sure.
not the paywall character. He's saying the PvP character. Like the.
Oh,
Well, that is the
Well,
the
yeah,
paywall
but
character.
think about if you're going to be competitive as an alliance to try to stay in that top 10, you are buying gems. There's no way you're going to get in the
yeah, but
top
we're
10.
doing that now. So
No, I understand that, but you also want to gear out your characters and everything. So I mean, it's all in all, it's going to increase.
yeah, I mean, I guess they'll see their internal numbers and see how
Oh
it
yeah,
plays
for
out
sure,
to decide,
absolutely.
Yeah, I
Well,
know. But,
We're going to have to see how crazy the top 10 is.
I guess Warner Brothers do have the money, and we have to spend the gems to do it. But I just think that there needs to be ways to make the game a little bit more free-to-play friendly. I know you can still do those premium packs, and you still encourage the spenders to spend them to get the packs easily. And speaking of which, I really do like those $100 packs. Yes, they're expensive, but in terms of values, they're at least a lot better than what we normally get. I still think it's quite expensive, but at least those $100 packs with the premium tune, they're a good step forward. I hope they can move forward from that. But having Alliance rewarding paywall characters as rewards, it will encourage free-to-play players to have more incentive to work on their roster and the gameplay. So I think that could be a good thing.
Well, we'd really like to say thank you for being on today, French Fries. And if there's anything that you wanted to plug or talk about real quick.
Let me see. Well, what I can say is I hope everything goes well for all the players out there in the game. And if Warner Brothers is listening to this, please release Starfire next month. We all know who won Starfire in our group.
Yes, we do.
I am too, but not as much as Bear.
Yes, Bear, if you're listening to this, we all heard you. We want Starfire. Well, not as much as you, but we all want to see you be happy, don't we?
All right.
All right, French Fries, thanks for being on with us. Do you like the show? Consider becoming a patron and get a special show each month, our special Q&A episode. It's only $1 to have access to this. Check it out at patreon.com, WeRRRLegends.
Thanks for listening. You're not going to say anything?
We are legends.